What's up, everybody? My name is Lewis. This is Cosmic Deer Review, and today we're going to be talking about the Blair Witch Project. The Blair Witch Project is a 1999 film directed by Daniel Myrick and Eduardo Sanchez. The film is about three student filmmakers who disappeared in the woods near Burkittsville, Maryland while shooting a documentary. A year later, the footage was found. So, the Blair Witch Project. When talking about this film, you actually have to talk about two different films. One is the film that was released in 1999 and was marketed as the real-life documentary of three student filmmakers who went into the woods and never returned. And two is, the film that became the butt end of every parody and joke imaginable, and unfortunately has really led to this film becoming very underappreciated, in my opinion. I was 9 when the Blair Witch Project first came out. I didn't see it in theaters because I was so young, but I do remember catching it on, I think, the Sci-Fi Channel, maybe the same year, maybe a year later, probably a year later. And first time I watched it, it scared the hell out of me. Yeah, you could say that because I was a kid, yeah, but actually I remember a lot of people who were genuinely terrified of this film. A lot of people, including myself at the time, thought it was real. At the time, there was no real such thing as viral marketing. Blair Witch Project actually, I think, created viral marketing. The sense that I got from it was this film does something that a lot of horror films try to do, and I think a lot of them fail to do, and that is convey a sense of true, pure fear. The thing that made this film so successful was, one, the viral marketing campaign and the idea that this was a true event that we were watching on the screen. But, once it came out that everyone was alive and the whole thing was made up, that's when the jokes came out. And I think the parodies and the jokes really kind of overshadowed that true isolation and true terror and fear that movie, induces on people. And that's the feeling that I got when I recently rewatched it for this review. I know a lot of people will probably watch it, or who haven't seen it, or will rewatch it and be like, it's not scary, nothing happens, you don't see anything. My thing is, that's the point. You don't see anything. You never see the witch. You see what's happening around these characters, and that's the brilliance of it. It doesn't need to show you everything, because what makes Blair Witch different from any other film is it is a found footage film. You are looking through the eyes of the character through the viewpoint of the camera. That is what made it so terrifying. It was like actually being there, experiencing it as it was happening. I know a lot of found footage films in recent years have been really bad, and one of the general arguments made is, why do people keep filming if they're in that situation? The Blair Witch Project really gives us a reason as to why they don't put down the camera. The characters are filmmakers. They're there to film a documentary. So the suspension of disbelief as to why not just drop everything and just run, it's believable. Yeah, getting back to my point of true terror and fear and how that film captured it more so, I think, than any other horror film or found footage. I think you can really get the sense of that when you watch Heather's monologue, the infamous "I'm so scared" monologue towards the end of the film. Honestly, out of every performance I've ever seen in any movie, that was probably some of the most real, raw, believable acting I've ever seen. It works for the film because these are supposed to be real life people in a real life documentary during the last few days of their lives, and puts you into this situation where you feel completely isolated and afraid by the end of the film, and it just does a damn good job. The Blair Witch Project is a highly underappreciated film. I consider it probably one of the best horror films, especially to come out in the past couple of decades, to be honest. It's a film that, you know, continues to scare me when I watch it. I think that's the merit of any horror film. If it can continue to scare people after all these years, then it must be doing something right. I personally love it. I highly recommend it. I'm going to give The Blair Witch Project 4 Cosmic Deers out of 5. I hope you like this review of The Blair Witch Project. Please, if you like this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and be sure to follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Cosmic Deer Review. Anyway, I'll be back next week to review another film, so until then.